Every year, millions of travelers cross oceans and continents to see a country that, on a map, looks like a small dot in the North Atlantic. A country with volcanoes, hot springs, ice caves, black beaches, and waterfalls. A country so small, it has fewer people than most big cities, but somehow it attracts more visitors than its entire population. Welcome to Iceland. Let's start with one of Iceland's icons. Skógafoss is a waterfall that looks like it was made for legends. It's about 200 feet tall, surrounded by green cliffs, and constantly wrapped in mist. On sunny days, the spray creates perfect rainbows, sometimes even double ones. You can walk right up to the base and feel the power of the water shaking the ground. It's loud, cold, and unforgettable. There's also a staircase leading to the top, where the view stretches across the entire south coast. According to local stories, a Viking named Thrasi hid a treasure chest behind the falls. People have tried to find it for centuries. Some say a piece of the chest was even pulled out long ago, but it slipped away and disappeared back into the mist. Whether the legend is true or not, standing there feels magical. The sound, the spray, and the raw energy of nature are what make Skógafoss a must-see on any Iceland trip. Next up is a place that doesn't look real. Jökulsárlón is a massive glacier lagoon filled with floating icebergs. Some are bright blue, others white, or even crystal clear. They drift slowly from the Jökulsárlón glacier and eventually make their way to the sea. The lagoon keeps changing shape every year as the glacier melts. It's quiet here, just the sound of ice cracking and water moving. Seals often swim between the icebergs, and seabirds circle overhead. Across the road, the ice pieces wash up on a black sand beach. Locals call it Diamond Beach because the ice glitters in the sunlight like gemstones. It's one of the best places to photograph in Iceland, especially at sunrise or sunset when the colors reflect on the ice. The contrast of black sand, blue ice, and golden light is unlike anything else in the world. For many travelers, this lagoon is the moment they realize why Iceland is so famous. Deep in the Icelandic highlands lies a region that looks painted by hand. Landmannalaugar is known for its colorful mountains shaped by volcanic minerals. The slopes shimmer in orange, yellow, red, and green, especially when the light hits just right. It feels like walking inside a fantasy landscape. The area is part of the Fjallabak Nature Reserve and is a paradise for hikers. The famous Laugavegur Trail begins here and continues through valleys, lava fields, and steaming geothermal areas. Even a short hike will bring you across bubbling hot springs, black obsidian lava, and ridges that seem to go on forever. The name Landmannalaugar actually means the people's pools, because natural hot springs bubble at the edge of the campsite. After a long day of hiking, people sit there in warm water, surrounded by mountains that glow in the evening light. Few beaches on Earth are as dramatic as Reynisfjara. It's located near the village of Vík on the southern coast, and it's made entirely of black volcanic sand. Towering basalt columns rise like giant organ pipes, and out in the ocean stand two tall rock formations called Reynisdrangar. According to folklore, those rocks were once trolls turned to stone by the rising sun. The waves here are strong and dangerous, known as sneaker waves, because they can appear suddenly and pull people out to sea. So it's a place to admire from a safe distance. But it's breathtaking. The black sand, white foam, and green cliffs create one of the most striking contrasts in nature. It's a spot that's been featured in countless films and music videos, from Game of Thrones to Star Wars. Standing there, with the wind roaring and the waves crashing, it's hard not to be amazed by how raw and powerful Iceland really is. Covering almost 14% of the entire country, Vatnajökull National Park is the largest in Iceland and one of the most diverse landscapes on the planet. At its heart lies the Vatnajökull glacier, the biggest glacier in Europe. Beneath it, active volcanoes rumble. That's right, there are volcanoes buried under the ice. Every winter, something magical happens here. New ice caves form inside the glacier. Local guides take visitors through glowing blue tunnels carved by melting water. The walls are clear and smooth, shining like glass. It's one of those experiences that doesn't seem real until standing inside it. In summer, the park transforms into a mix of deep valleys, thundering rivers, and endless stretches of white ice. One of the highlights is Skógafoss, or Black Waterfall. It's surrounded by tall black basalt columns that look almost man-made, as if a sculptor designed them. Those same shapes inspired the architecture of Hallgrímskirkja, the famous church in Reykjavik. Vatnajökull isn't just one location. It's an entire world of extremes: ice and fire, calm and chaos. It represents Iceland at its core. You've probably seen this one before, even without realizing it. Kirkjufell is the most photographed mountain in Iceland. Its perfectly shaped cone rises from the northern coast of the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, often reflected in a small lake below. It became world famous after appearing in Game of Thrones as Arrowhead Mountain. But even without the fame, it's a natural masterpiece. The shape, the colors, and the surrounding waterfalls create a scene that looks almost too perfect to be real. Right next to it is Kirkjufellsfoss, a small but picturesque waterfall that lines up perfectly with the mountain behind it. At sunset or under the northern lights, it's one of the most stunning views in all of Iceland. Kirkjufell changes personality with every season. In summer, it's green and glowing. In autumn, it turns golden, and in winter, it stands frozen under the lights. Photographers from around the world come here, chasing that one perfect shot. But even without a camera, it leaves a lasting memory. If Skógafoss is about beauty, Dettifoss is about power. Located in the northeast of Iceland, this is Europe's most powerful waterfall. The sound alone tells the story. Like thunder that never stops. The water comes from the Jökulsárlón River, fed by the Vatnajökull glacier. When it crashes down about 150 feet into the canyon below, the spray fills the air like fog. You can feel it from hundreds of feet away. The area around it, called Jökulsárlón Canyon, looks almost alien. Black rocks, twisted cliffs, and raw, untouched terrain. It's no wonder Prometheus, the science fiction film, was shot here. It feels like another planet. Standing at the edge, surrounded by the roar of water and wind, you understand what people mean when they call Iceland a living landscape. Everything here feels alive. A few hours from Reykjavik lies the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, often called Iceland in miniature. Everything that defines the country can be found here in one place. Volcanoes, lava fields, glaciers, fishing villages, black beaches, and dramatic cliffs. At its center rises Snæfellsjökull, a glacier-covered volcano that inspired Jules Verne's journey to the center of the Earth. From the top, you can see across the entire peninsula on a clear day. One of the most beautiful stops is Arnarstapi, a small coastal village surrounded by cliffs shaped by the sea. Natural arches and caves form along the shoreline, with waves crashing below and birds nesting in the cliffs. Further west lies Djúpalónsandur, a beach filled with smooth black pebbles, and shipwreck remains scattered across the sand. It's haunting and beautiful at the same time. The whole peninsula feels calm and timeless. Small farms sit under snow-covered peaks, and narrow roads wind through lava fields covered in moss. It's the kind of place that shows Iceland's quieter side, less visited, but equally breathtaking. In the heart of Iceland lies one of the most important places in the country's history and geology. Thingvellir isn't just beautiful, it's where Iceland was born as a nation. Over 1,000 years ago, Viking settlers gathered here to form the world's first democratic parliament, the Althing, in the year 930. They made laws, solved disputes, and shaped the early society that still influences Iceland today. But Thingvellir is also where two worlds meet. Literally, the park sits on the boundary between the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates. As they slowly drift apart, the ground tears open, creating deep cracks and canyons filled with crystal-clear water. One of them, called Silfra, is a favorite spot for divers. The water comes from melting glacier ice that's been filtered through lava rock for decades, making it so clear that visibility can reach over 300 feet. Swimming between continents in water that pure feels like floating through glass. Thingvellir is peaceful, quiet, and symbolic. It's where nature and history come together to tell Iceland's story. No list of Iceland's wonders would be complete without this one. The Blue Lagoon is probably the most famous geothermal spa on the planet. It's just a short drive from the airport, but it feels far away from everything. The milky blue water is naturally heated by geothermal energy from deep underground. It stays warm all year, even when snow is falling around it. The color comes from silica, a mineral that reflects light and gives the water that dreamy turquoise shade. It's one of the few places where luxury and nature blend perfectly. You can soak in warm water surrounded by black lava fields, with steam rising around you and cold air on your face. It's relaxing, but also surreal. The lagoon was actually formed accidentally in the 1980s when water from a nearby geothermal plant began pooling in the lava field. Locals started bathing there, and soon it became one of Iceland's top attractions. Today, it's part spa, part wonder of nature, a symbol of how Iceland turns even its harsh environment into something beautiful. And there you have it, a country where fire meets ice, where waterfalls crash beside glaciers, and where every road leads to something unforgettable. It's wild, peaceful, and endlessly beautiful. The kind of place that stays with you long after you've left. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more amazing travel inspiration from around the world.